Yes, how do you do? This is my podcast and it's just for you. It's called Ted Talks and it's a load of shite, but I hope you enjoy it because I've kept it light. It's 30 minutes long and all about Teesside, the people, the places and the Boro pride. The Boro won. We won, man. You know what I mean? Get in there, Marvin Johnson. What a goal, man. What a game. What a goalkeeper. What a goalkeeper we've got in bloody... What's his face? Randolph. Oh, I'm delighted. Anyway, welcome to episode 13 of Ted Talks, the Ted Hanky Podcast. Got another rather nice show in store for you today, and that, you know what I mean? I'm still buzzing about that Boro win, like, class, proper class. You know what I mean? I can't believe it. Honestly, I'm over the moon. That's it, we're going to go on now. We're not going to lose a game all season. Watch this space. But anyway, big thanks to Shitehawk Comedy and Boro Fan TV, as always, for sponsoring this show. It's an absolute cracker. I hope you enjoy it and just like share it about and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Right then, so my guest in the podcast studio with me this week is old comedian and all round monghead David Smith. All right, David, how you doing, man?
I'm all right, mate. You all right?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Hey, thanks for joining me on my podcast. You're the first person from Hull who I've spoke to that hasn't been through prison bars. So, welcome.
I've been in them. I'm just that skinny. I fit through them.
You're a bit of a scrawny bastard, like, aren't you? Right then, first question for you, David, is what have you had for your tea tonight?
Oh, we had macaroni cheese with garlic bread.
You dirty bastard. Macaroni cheese.
Oh, I love it. It's like pasta, innit? We have pasta and garlic bread. So I always go, it's always because she's sometimes doing it enough. There's 6 of us. She does one dish. So the garlic bread's like an extra filler.
6 of you? Why would it... How many wives have you got? Are you a Mormon?
Yeah, we feed the street. Now we call it, and she always does extra for like the next day for pack up and stuff. And then we had one of his mates on for tea. So
she's well prepared, your missus. Then is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and I'm not. But yeah, the macaroni cheese is nice. She did it the first time she did it. She put onions in it, and then we had an argument.
Oh, I don't blame you, mate. I'd have threw an onion at the head and said, "Oh, what you doing? Don't be putting fucking onions in me macaroni cheese, man."
Oh, it's everything. Like, there's certain meals that we have, and I kind of go, why did you have to add that in it? Like, you might do like a spag bol and there's a bit of carrot in it. And I'm like, it's lovely without the carrot. No need for the onion. And she goes, well, it just makes it taste nicer for me. And then the lad pipes up and he's like, I don't like fucking onions either. And I'm like, see? So then we gang up on her and she starts crying.
It must just be a woman thing, you know what I mean? Because Julie, big fat Julie, once made me a salad. And I was like, it's lovely. And I said, well, yours looks different to mine. What have you got in your salad? And she said, chips. So, and I didn't get any. So she was defeating the objective of a salad. But there was more chips than salad. But that's Julie. She just likes chips. You know what I mean?
No, it's not one of my favourites. I'm a meat and gravy man. Meat, gravy, pie, mash, Sunday dinner, all that. That's my favourite.
Like fucking Bodger and Badger, you mashed potato.
Well, not chips. We'll have mash, but not chips, yeah. So, what's Ted's favourite meal?
My favourite meal, apart from a chicken parmo, is, because it's obvious because I'm from Teesside and that's all we eat up there, is I quite like those little alphabetic spaghettis, and then I can write little messages on my toast with them, like flange or get a wash or this tastes like shit, that type of stuff. And I serve it to like guests and stuff like that, put little messages on. I was trying to flirt with a lass before, Julie invited Scabby Cheryl around, and I quite fancied a little bit of Scabby Cheryl. So I just wrote on a toast in alphabetic spaghettis, get your flange out.
Did it work?
It didn't know because Julie read it and battered me with a tea towel. So there you go. But you know what else? Still friends.
You whip you with it.
Yeah, she's a kinky cow. This is a podcast. I don't know if you know, but it's meant to not just be about talking about your team. It's about football and it's about comedy and it's about all that type of stuff as well. Now, you're from Hull, the city of culture. What's so great about Hull?
Well, people who come and they come and stay, they usually always go away saying chip spice. I don't know if you're aware of it.
Say what?
It's chip spice. So when you go American chip spice, if people are listening and they've been to Hull, know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, so when you go to a takeaway and get chips and Donham and chips, you just have it normal. But in Hull, they put like this, it's like paprika, but it's not spicy, but it's not like salt. It's like somewhere in between, and people fucking love it. Like we export it out. Like people who live abroad and stuff, they always go, send us some chip spice. Send us some chip spice.
So this is like your equivalent of our Parmo in Middlesbrough, isn't it?
Possibly, but it's just a paprika powder. So you go to Nando's, they put some. I don't know what it's called. They put something on their chips, but every takeaway.
They put paprika on it.
Yeah, but it's not paprika. but every takeaway does it, and that's kind of like a landmark. So there's no museums or anything fucking educational. We're just famous for chip spice.
I don't know. You've got the deep. I fucking love the deep.
You've been. It's the world's. When they brought it out, it was the world's only submarine aquarium.
No, it is, mate. I went to the opening day. I got like a special invite and I took Doyle with me, and all the tanks were empty. They hadn't even brought the fish in yet, so we were just walking around looking at the fish tanks. But we went for a nice sausage and chips meal in the cafe, and then I fingered her in the back of my Clio later on. So swings and roundabouts.
I've been. It's a good place to deep. I've been once, but. You have sharks, there's a lift there now. You go like from when you're in the lift, the water's all around you. You're like actually under the tank and stuff. So it's quite good. Penguins as well.
I don't like penguins.
No, don't trust them.
No, I don't. Are they the birds? Are they the fish? No, they're just fucking dickheads. That's what I think. Anyway. I just don't like the look of them, you know what I mean? Like, they do that showing off bit where they slide about on their bellies and they get up and they flip around and stuff like that, and then just go, they're just pointless. What's the point of a penguin?
But yeah, the deep, that's it. That's what we used to say. We used to say, like, France has, like, the Eiffel Tower, and Barcelona, they have these mental stadiums, and Old Trafford, and there's all these, like, landmarks, and we have a fucking deep that's it's in the water. So, but people do come to see it. It is a tourist attraction, I guess. So...
But everyone likes the deep, though, don't they, really? And everyone likes Hull.
I did a gig, right? I did a gig once, and there was a Scottish fella who told me that how he didn't like Hull. He goes, and he's like, I can't do the accent, but he was telling me...
Do the accent, David. Go and have a go. Do it.
Try. He goes, hey there, pal, you know that stuff you just done there about the city of culture? I've got a bone to pick with that, And I was like, why? He goes, because Hull stole two things from me. I'm from Glasgow, and I hate it. And apparently, I can't carry on doing this. That was terrible, wasn't
it? Was it Indian?
I've been getting messages, getting letters from my agent. But he basically said that Glasgow was going in for the city of culture and Hull beat him to it. And he also said, but you stole something else from us too. And he goes, teenage pregnancy. And I was like, what? And he goes, Glasgow had it with a 14-year-old, and Hull comes in with a fucking 13-year-old. But then he goes, but guess what? We got sit back with a 12-year-old.
Oh, look at that. It just shows, doesn't it, the type of people who dwell in Hull and Glasgow, that you can compete about underage pregnancies.
Mental, mate. But yeah, that was after I had a shit gig as well, but that made the all night worth it. I went home like just laughing about this fella
I don't believe you had a shit gig, David. I've only ever seen you have very good gigs because you're a very good comedian. I like it. Yeah,
good. It it was an open mic night. You know, you just try. I had a list of new stuff that I wanted to try, and I thought it was funnier than what it was. But like, there was nobody. It wasn't a paying gig. I didn't do any damage where people didn't like it. But you've got to try them out sometimes, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I've got one coming up myself. I honestly, they're so hard work. You know what I mean? Don't come and watch comedy nights if you're not going to laugh. Open mic audience. I know you get like a quality of crap comedian on, but, you know, just at least laugh and make us feel better about ourselves. Right, so I did a video when I was in the bath the other day, proper narked off and that, you know what I mean? About, you know, them lasses are doing them silly trout pout, you know, the pout the puss face, and then they do that thing with the daft fingers, probably with that sort of like spicy chip shit you're on about all over them. Do they do that in all? Do they do it, mate? Because it drives me up the fucking wall, mate, honestly. Why do they do it, David? Why?
Yeah, I mean, I hate it. I'm married to a fucking one who does that. She's all that Geordie Shore, My Super Big Fat Wedding and all that stuff. She does my fucking head in. Every time she takes a picture, she's got her lips out. I just like laugh. I'm not the most attractive person, so I can only moan about certain things with her, but she'll just go away. So I do stupid stuff as well, though.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, David. Yeah, you know what I mean? You are a bit of an ugly monger. I mean, just for the listeners at home, I'll describe David for you. He's like, he's got a bit of an head, like like an unkept ball bag. You know what I mean? Like, if you didn't look after your ball bag and just let it go wild, that's what David looks like. You know what I mean? He looks like that piece in between your bumhole and your nutsack, like the landing strip, the gooch, and it's just like not being looked after at all, and like his balls are probably like reflective of his big bumpy horrible face as well. Would that be a fair assessment, David, of how you look?
Yeah. It's up there with one of the best.
Has anyone ever called you Knackanut?
No, I used to get called Egghead when I was younger.
Egghead. Yeah, I can see that.
Like, just like overly bollock, yeah. So, but there's all sorts. I just walk in places and get, you brushed your hair with a fucking toffee apple and all this stuff. Yeah, I'm a mess.
Yeah, you do. You look like if Danny DeVito was tall but ill.
But you say that. I mean, if I want to see an ill picture of Danny DeVito, but no, people say like, go shave your hair, you're hanging. I'm one of these that they tell me you're hanging on. Just give in, just get rid of it. But that's what I always say. I would say if I did, I'd look like me as a bald man would look like I've got 3 days left to live. I'd start getting like get well soon cards and stuff. It just won't be appropriate. I don't have the right shaped head to acquire.
You might make a bit of money. You might make a bit of money though, mate. Yeah, we can get some fundraising going, and then we'll go on holiday.
Send myself to Disneyland.
Yeah. Well, in Disneyland, just loads of photos of you on all the rides, fucking loving it, getting wrecked. He's all right, David. What's up with him? Oh, he's got a bad hemorrhoid. No nonsense.
My dad generally, this is like my dad. When he was at school and he used to do like a sponsored walk and all them little. He always used to say, "Get 2 forms. One, get it and go and do it and take it round like to school, and another one, go down the other streets, 2 or 3 streets away, go and get a new pair of trainers." So, I shouldn't even be letting that stuff out, but yeah, that was my dad.
Well, listen, we've got a discussion point because you played in a football charity match for like the whole comedy festival and with sort of summer comedians and other people like that. And what David was all dying to know.
Well, it was going well. It was going really, really well up until 60 minutes in.
You soiled yourself. You had to take it off. Change your pants, wipe your bum, and bring your cunt.
Yeah, we had spare kits. It was when I come back, we were 5-4 down. No, it was a weird one. I've only heard of this injury before, but people apparently it's quite common. But it felt like somebody 2-footed me from behind, so I fell to the floor going, "Who the fuck was that?" Looking around at the ref, going, "Where's my free kick?" And there's nobody around me. And when I stood up, it turns out I've snapped my Achilles at the back, which is, Is that what Dave Beckham? Is that what he did? Did he do it one time?
Loads of footballers have done the Achilles. It's a nasty one. I've snapped 2 things on my body before. One being my Achilles when I was moving some heavy bags of grout down the allotment, and then I went. Yeah, you're fucking right to it, mate. Yeah, and then the other thing I snapped was my banjo string when I didn't do enough foreplay with Julie, and I just went in a bit too fast.
Didn't warm it up properly.
Yeah, with blood everywhere, mate. Honestly, you know what I mean. And like she wasn't even bothered, you know. She wouldn't even put down a packet of Monster Munch and help me out. She was just lying there finishing off a Monster Munch, and I had blood everywhere, crying. I had to bandage it up with a tea towel and go to A&E. So that was more painful than the Achilles, mate. You're lucky.
I got away with it.
Did you cry?
But I didn't, mate.
Did
you know what? It was 10 seconds of pain, and it was horrible. But in that 10 seconds, I was just looking around, like I say, going, what happened? Looking at my teammates. Well, they weren't fucking arsed. They carried on, just got the clearance away, and was like, "Get up, you fairy." And
sounds exactly like a prostate examination. At 10 seconds of pain, you were looking around, and it was done without even knowing.
Yeah, free to go. But no, it wasn't until I got back to my car and I tried to do my clutch that I was like, nah, there's something definitely wrong here. And then I went, I didn't even think I was going to hospital to be out serious. And then I was like, no, we think it's your Achilles. And it's a bad one. Didn't get no sympathy off the wife though. She just fucking hates me even more now. So
what did she say to you when you came home? Went, I've done my Achilles. No,
I was in trouble already because she wasn't happy with me playing the match. I always get, you're 35, you're too old to do that shit, and you probably shit anyway. And but I come in hobbling. Obviously, I got my dad to drop me off. I got a taxi home, and then I came in. I just can you just put my trainers up there? I had not to eat. Can you just make us a sandwich? And I'm going to be off for 8 weeks. It was only 5 minutes home. And she's like, you're doing my fucking head in already. And then she's like tutting and jumping about. So, yeah. But
I really feel for you, Dave, because, from what I hear, your missus is, she's a lovely bit of flange, but she's hard work. Is that correct assessment?
I have to be quiet. She's upstairs. She already banged on the door once. But yeah, that's how... A lot of people describe her as that in many different ways. Meaning that, I don't know. They act like I should have won the fucking lottery or something, or that I am a lottery winner just on how she looks. But I'm like, yeah, but you don't know what's inside her fucking head.
She's crazy flange, isn't she? Would that be a fair assessment as well?
Crazy flange. Yeah. We've seen before, she buys things in our house that we are allowed to use. I've just got a full house full of stuff. I don't know if I'm allowed to touch it or not. And if I touch it, I'm in the doghouse. Like candles and cushions. She's just mental. So
Julie's a bit like that with her sweet drawer as well. She's got a sweet drawer in the bedroom. She's got one in the kitchen, and she's got one in the living room as well. And before I took a packet of Nerds and a Wamba out of a sweet drawer, and she knew straight away. I don't know whether an alarm went off or anything like that, but she absolutely brayed me. She was fucking furious. So I had to go to the shop and I had to replace the Nerds and the Wamba, and I had to get a massive bag of Monster Munch as well, and then I had to go and get her a McDonald's Happy Meal as well,
to make up for it.
To make it up to her, yeah.
The interest. So I love it, man. I've got 2 kids, man, so we always have sweets around. But fucking Nerds, they were good, and that's retro. That's Ted.
All right, I like my Nerds, yeah.
You used to do called dweebs as well. Nerds and dweebs.
Dweebs, yeah.
Love that. I used to call the dweeb someone who nobody. I was a dweeb to a lot of people.
I think you still are, David. You don't, to be fair.
You ugly, mongy dweeb.
Look, here he is. Dweeby Dave. Let's give him a wedgie. Available at all good record stores, Ted Hanky sings Songs of Big Fat Julie. Well, she's all you'd ever want, wears her leggings up the front, you'll never bin her. But she always knows her place, she's got hairs on her face, she'll eat your dinner. She is Julie. Whoa, 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 yes, she's Julie. I'm talking about Big Fat Julie, and the minger is mine. Covering classics from Tom Jones and ABC. Whoa, 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 when your bird is full of strange derangements and all you do is hear a poo, you know the toilet's gonna proper ming, and there's only one thing to do. All I'm saying, it takes a lot to bonk you. All I'm doing, you stink of poo, but you're clean now. There's one thing, yes, one thing that grows this bonk on for you. That's the lick, that's the lick, the lick of muff. That's the lick, that's the lick, the lick of muff. That's the lick, that's the lick, the lick of Julie's muff. Not forgetting, she's broke the back seat too. I'm going for a big shite, but Julie's had one too. I'm gonna need the air wick and light some candles too. She's had skiddies around the pot. She's had skiddies around the pot. Ah, she's broke the box seat too. Box seat too. There you have it. That's me new compilation album due out in all the record shops soon. Songs of Big Fat Julie. Loads of classics on there. That was just a few little tasters for you. It's not due out for a good few weeks now, so I might introduce a few more songs over the coming weeks and get you in the mood so you buy me album, like, you know what I mean. Anyway, back to my interview with David Smith.
Oh, anyway, was this anyway? I had something you could do in some clothing modelling or something like that.
Well, and someone I've been approached about doing. There's a new clothing range coming out. I don't know the name of it. It could be something like I don't know, fatspliffy.co.uk or something like that. I don't know. It might be a resurgence of the sweater shop brand. I don't know. But yeah, I've been asked to do some modelling for this nice lad's clothing range he's bought, and I'm going to be doing that, and hopefully the photos will be coming out, and the flange will be moist all around Teesside. That's all I'm doing it for, you know.
Get in.
The flange quarter.
I don't think I could. I ain't got the modelling face. What?
Well, you know, some of us are blessed. Some of us are blessed. You know, you look like Sloth Ballbag, and I look like I could be the shaft of David Beckham. So that's the difference. Anyway, football wise, yes. Are you an Hull City fan?
I'm not, mate. I'm one of these annoying people that comes from a city and then like supports. I'm a Man United fan.
You big piece of dog shit. What are you spotting him for?
My dad. I think I told you he was a knobhead. It was his team. And when you're younger and that, and you want to impress your dad, I just went along, but I've always followed him from then. Because weird, I used to go and watch City actually. So I've been a Man United fan, but when they was in like Division 3 with like Leyton Orient and all that, I used to go watch them then. And there was a time when they had they were going bust. They were doing like bucket collections and stuff. So. But I've never, when they made it to the Premier League, I just felt like a bit of a cop-out and a sellout, like, well, I've never been a fan. So just to turn up now makes it like a bit horrible. So I keep a track on what they're doing and that, but I'm never, if any, with Hull, the only Hull thing I like, I follow the rugby team, and that's even more offensive. I'm sorry.
Rugby. That's just a load of big daft men rolling around on the floor fingering each other's bums. Fucking hate rugby. Rugby and cricket can just get fucked. I can't stand them two sports, you know what I mean? For me, I'm only into me football, me boxing, and me ultimate fighting, because I'm a proper bloke.
He done any ultimate fighting? It's Ted fought.
I've done a little bit, you know what I mean? Like the pizza shops in Stockton, like when it all kicks off around there, I've done a couple. Because I'm a bit like I've got the moves like Chuck Norris. I dress like Van Damme, and I'm as handsome as Steven Seagal as well. So like I'm a combination of them three hard bastards, and I've got to admit it also looks a bit weird as well. So people pick on us when I'm trying me chips and me kebab or me parmo, and then what I have to do is I have to put it on top of a bin and then just come on then, way, and then I just start knocking fuck out the people, because you know, and then all the mates join in, and then I run off because I can only fight one man at a time. I'm not a roidhead.
What's your favourite Van Damme film?
Favourite Van Damme film for me has got to be Bloodsport.
Oh, good one. I like that one.
I do like Universal Soldier as well, though, only because I like Dolph Lundgren in it, because he has that necklace with ears on it.
Yeah.
Isn't he?
Oh, it's
quite like that.
Oh, Kickboxer was probably my first one that I watched. I love the first one.
Yeah, Kickboxer's a good one, yeah. Did he do one called Hard Target? Yeah, quite like Hard Target.
He had a perm. You'd suit a perm.
I'm contemplating a perm, you know. I really am. They're coming back, and I've got a lovely thick crop of natural hair as well. Yeah. Or I might go for like a really tight sort of acid perm, a bit like Lionel Richie used to have. I reckon I'd look buck like that, like, you know what I mean? Oh.
Man's going to cost me money. The wife, like, she wants me to get one of them. Is it Turkey? You can go to Turkey and get a fringe fucking stitched on or whatever. You're going to get
a dead man's scalp sewn on you, because they do that, don't they? Don't they, like cut the scalps off dead men and then stitch him onto like ugly people like you?
And then charge you like 10 grand.
10 grand, and you like
for a dead man's
10
scalp.
grand, and you're like a black guy with a full crop of ginger hair. You know, it's like, you know, they just don't care, you know, but they shouldn't. No one's and I did that because we're all the same. We're all the same.
No, I'm naturally cross-eyed. So.
I forgot about that. I forgot what we call the Sunderborough. Yeah, you got one eye in Sunderland and the Middlesbrough.
Really got a bog.
I just made that up. I made that up. Yeah. I think I'd heard it in Yorkshire before called a Wakey Don, where one eye from Duncan. You know what I mean?
That's good. Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you correct your bong eye then? Come on, tell us.
I wear contact lenses. That's literally it. If I take my contact lenses out, I'm still bog-eyed. So I pay £15 a month to put the eye straight. But it's the difference between people like talking to me and ignoring me, or giving me a pat on the head.
What you should do, right, is just get like one of them monocles, right, but not one that like corrects your eye, just magnifies it. So you've got just a massive magnified bong eye. It'll be proper class. You know what I mean? Like, you know what people will say, don't you? People will go, "Oh, here he is, crazy eye, Dave."
Crazy. Oh, it scares some people. What you crazy eye, Dave. My kids just have no friends. Your dad, the crazy eyed Dave that looks like a bollock.
Do the kids come home and go, like they're asking their friends if they want to come to your house for tea, you know, like they do at school, and then they're like, "Don't you see the clip of your dad and that?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. What you call it. They don't want to be alone with me. The parents as well, they look at me and see me in the morning. I have got that when it's 3 seconds of a brisk wind, and I can easily go from looking half all right to looking like a paedophile, and I have no control over it. So,
what, you have no control over your urges?
No, I mean,
you look like but I thought I was interviewing a paedophile. I wasn't happy about that. You mean you look like one in brisk wind? You don't get the urge. Right, all right, we've established that. Distasteful paedophilia jokes there on the podcast. I'm sorry there, listeners. I might delete that. I might not either.
So, but yeah, this started off talking about Man United, and look where we are. But yeah, man. Well, it was good for the Borough. I still remember it, like for the 90s and stuff. With when you had, was it Janino and Ravanelli? He put an hat trick on. I remember.
We had some great players back then. All that. Yeah,
and then Hull. I think you got the better of Hull over like recent times. I was looking. I think we've only won something like 18 times. We've drawn 16, and you've won about 30, I think. So
yeah, and we've shared players in the past, haven't we?
Windass. Do you remember? Not Windass. Oh no, Nick Barmby. Was it Barmby?
We shared Windass, Barmby. We've had some cracking players between us. You know, Windass is a bit of an hero in Hull, isn't he? But I used to love him at the Borough because he just used to clatter people, and he was dead funny as well. I can imagine he was proper crack in the dressing room.
Yeah, we seen because when I've trained and played on a Thursday and that, sometimes I think he's into coaching maybe a little bit now, so you used to see him coaching some younger lads. But that goal he scored when Hull first got to the Premier League, he was coming to the end of his career, and it was a little bit of a, will they play him, won't he play him? He was like, he's just such a hero, but there was like, we can't not get to Wembley and he deserves a run out. And they just won 1-0, and the goal he scored was like amazing little volley, and that was his career. That was it. He wouldn't have been able to ascend it any higher. He retired. So, but a good bloke, I think.
I remember I listened to him on a podcast recently, and he was talking about when he played for the Borough, and Alan Boxic used to play for the Borough, and Boxic was on about 80, 90 grand a week, and like all the other Borough players were nowhere near that. Certainly Windass wasn't. And he said that every week Boxic used to turn up with a different woman, and he used to go, who's that one? Who's that one, Alan? He said, he said he pays for a different woman every week to clean his house, do all of his chores, and then satisfy his ball bag. So, a bit of an upper class escort. Yeah, bit of an upper class escort who does a bit of chore work as well. He said he was a right flash bastard.
Oh God! But that happens a lot. I don't know. Look at this now. Rashford, 350 grand a week. He's not. I'm a Man United fan. He's not that type of fucking player in my eyes. I
wouldn't pay him 30 grand a week.
The money is just.
He's not that good, is he? He's not that good.
But I think it's all right though, man. Like, we're going through this. It's nice to go. It's not nice to go through the period we're going through, but we're clearly not in that top four anymore. And I haven't like deserted him and gone, I'm going to go support somebody else, like all these fucking Man City fans that have just appeared from nowhere.
You can at least say, I supported Man United when they were shit, can't you? Shit at the minute, you know. You signed a great defender in Harry Maguire, but you've got some absolute dog shit players like Ashley Young. Frigging Ashley Young. I reckon I could take on Ashley Young 6 times and pull his pants down. He's crap. He wants putting down like a knackered horse.
Yeah. He was captain for a bit as well.
I don't like to talk about Man United for more than 1 minute on my podcast, so I'll probably just edit all that down to like, Man United, shit, yeah, and then that'll be it. So,
if only Ted was president. So, what about like the Borough? Did they win the weekend?
They did, yeah. We got a nice 1-0 win. Fucking great goal from Marvin Edit on the Grapevine Johnson. And goalkeeper, Dazza Randolph. Whoa, man, fucking saves he was making. He's the best goalkeeper outside the Premiership. He's fantastic. And teams keep their hands off him until the Borough get promoted, and we can then keep him in the top flight because he's an absolute cracking goalkeeper. Honestly. I like him. He's got a nice bald head. I like that.
Right. There aren't many good people like you left around, Ted.
There isn't, no. You know, like the other week, I was in Subway and I got myself a foot-long meatball marinara, and I picked up a drink and I forgot to pay for it. You know what I mean? So I left with a drink. I forgot to pay for it. So I went back and I returned the empty can, because I'm good like that. I drank it, obviously, but I sort of did that bit where you'd open it from the bottom, like in Turner and Hooch, where he drinks the beer can. And I drank it that way and then returned it, and they didn't know. I said, I'm just putting that can back, mate. I took it by accident. Which fucking empty can of Sprite. So,
you win some, you lose some. I walked out of Asda with a curry once. I've done that.
A curry?
They used to do them at the back, like where it was fresh. Like where you just go, oh, can I have like a chicken, like a takeaway, but in Asda. So
I've just got this. I've just got like this image now, like CCTV, and like they're looking back at it and going, "Who's this fucking crazy bong-eyed man here putting a curry up his top? Just walking out with a fucking lambooner up your tracksuit top." I'm assuming you wear tracksuit tops.
We used to like bag it, but you never, because you had hot food and then you do your shop where you had chill food. I never used to put it in like the trolley, so I was putting all the other stuff on the thing, and I genuinely just like walked out, and then I was like, it was in my hand holding like a carrier bag. I was like, I didn't pay for this curry. And I was like, fuck it. Anyway, they've had enough of me off the years, and then carried on walking.
Did you know in supermarkets you can legally eat the produce without paying for it?
No.
Yeah, you see it all the time, right? Certainly around the grapes.
Yeah, I know you see it all the time, but if I do it on Saturday, I'm not going to get dragged out going, but Ted said.
No, it's called grazing, and you see people doing it around like the grapes and stuff like that, where they'll be picking like a punnet of grapes, or they'll be like weighing their own, and then they'll be eating a few like that, and supermarkets turn a blind eye to it, because what are you going to do? Say, give us that fucking grape back out your belly. No, they're going to go and pay for the grapes they've got. But they still eat the ones whilst walking around the shop as well. I've seen some fat mums walking around with like a pasty and a sausage roll eating that, and then they'll just crumble it up and hide it behind the cereal boxes. I've seen that before, but that's just shoplifting a pastry.
Yeah. Oh man.
Anyway, we've gone off a tangent, David. It's been lovely chatting to you. I hope your shitty gammy leg and your daft eye heals up. And have you got any comedy gigs coming up, or are you fucked now?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask because I can't drive. So unless it's in Hull, I'm not going to be able to get about a bit. I think it's going to be like an 8-week job. Or maybe, I don't know if they have to do surgery. I'll find out on Thursday. But I'm going to have to do some reading or some projects around the house to keep myself busy.
You're gonna have to get like Jed Salisbury or Gary Jason to push you to gigs. You look like Little Britain. Just Gary in like a leather jacket and tracksuit bottoms, and you just sat with a blanket over your knees. On that one.
Yeah, no. I am bothered about it though. What I'm going to look like. The wife's like really excited. She wants to go to cinema dates and still do stuff, but have the thingy of just pushing me around in this wheelchair. She's going to like. Yeah, but you might
be able to get a disability ticket. You know what I mean? And get to like the front of stuff like that. I remember before John Paul, there was a massive queue to get on the plane to Tenerife, and we just didn't want to stand in it like that. So I put him in a wheelchair and wheeled it with the front, and they let us first. And then when we got through, like the bit that connects from the thingy to the plane, that sort of little corridor, we then just jumped out and ran on the plane. Yeah, true story. Got a few disconcerting looks, but we got a nice seat, so fuck them. Yeah. There you go. Well, you can talk for fucking hours, David. So I'm going to end this conversation very shortly. But thank you very much for taking part in the Ted Hanky Podcast. You've been another great guest. Get well soon, and hopefully out and about gigging and sponsors of the show, Showcase Comedy. I no doubt we'll have you up in Stockton when you're fitting well, mate.
Yeah, well, that'll be great, mate. And I'll keep on listening. I didn't do a question this week though, so I'll have to listen to what people
You don't have to do one, though, do you, when you're a guest on the show? Stop trying to take all my airtime up. It's not the David Smith show. So right, listen, mate. I'm gonna go because I need to go and have a wee. I'm busting. So I'll cheers, mate. I'll catch you soon.
No worries, pal. Take it easy, mate. See you soon.
Bye. Boom, boom, boom. Let me hear you say way-o, way-o. Yes, it's time for my favourite part of the show, Ask Ted. And this is where my fans on the social medias, Facebook and the Twitters and that, just ask me any question at all, and I answer it. And it's quite a fun part of the show. I really enjoy doing it, to be honest, now, you know what I mean? So, we're going to get things started nice and straight away with first question coming from Martin Fletcher. Okay, Martin, let's have a look. Ted, I spoke to the club about you hosting the flange zone. They wanted reassurances you could curb the bad language. Do you think you could manage this? Do you know what, Martin? Not a problem at all. I only swear, not only to just look cool, but it helps me with my stress and stuff like that. But when I'm in public, I'm a polite, pleasant man. And when I'm doing my shows, I can either be rude or I can be clean. I do family shows, I do kids comedy and shit like that, you know what I mean? So it's fine. Yeah, I'm a cracking DJ as well, so I can amalgamate all of them skills together and put on the ultimate flange zone performance. So if you want to go back to him and tell him to get in touch with me, my email's tedhankycomedy@gmail.com. Just get in touch with me, you know what I mean? I've got a modest fee, and I reckon I can get that place pumping before the cold weather arrives, and then I'm not interested. Next question, Joe Burge. Ted, have you ever thought about auditioning for the part of Roy Cropper's long-lost son on Coronation Street? I think you'd pull it off, and it would give Roy some much-needed street cred. Great question, that, Joe, and I have thought about it because, I'm a big fan of Cropper's style. I like his little no members jackets, and he's got a lovely lock of hair there, creeping over his massive wide face. I'm a big fan, I am, and I would love to play the part of Roy Cropper's son, maybe called Ted Cropper. Ted Cropper, Roy Cropper's long-lost son. I turn up and I go, all right, Dad, I'm come to take my share of the cafe, Roy's rolls, you owe me some money, and then I murder him, and then I take over as the Coronation Street art man and flange magnate as well. And Jeff and Steve McDonald, they're just like dead envious of me and that, you know what I mean? But they're dead say out because I'll proper batter them. So, yeah, I think we've got a script there, Joe. You want to get that sent in, mate? Milky joke. Paul Hills. My old pal Daft Paul Hills. Here we go. Ted, my wife works away. I love my dog a little bit more than I should, if you know what I mean. Do you know if a dog has ever testified in court? He's put a picture of the dog on here as well. It's a beautiful little creature, I must say. Got a cracking set of HD eyebrows there as well. I've got to say, Paul, I wouldn't rule it out, mate, you know what I mean? Won Britain's Got Talent. Do you know, danced, and I think it even juggled, and it might have even spoke at one point. So it wouldn't surprise me if a dog has testified. So I think you need to cut back on your touching of the dogs, mate. It's not right, and somebody might report you to the RSPCA, pal. So moving on, Norton Wilcock got a new puppy, Ted. Oh, it's another dog one here. Okay, now we've got a theme. Got a new puppy, Ted, and was thinking of giving him a name with a butter connection like you did. That's right, Norton. I've got my beautiful 14-year-old mongrel, Branco, named after massive-thighed Brazilian fullback with a devilish free kick, Branco. So he's continuing here. Thought maybe Spike Brucey or Rav. My mate suggested I call him Spud after Phil Whelan. Any ideas, Ted? You could call him Maddo after Neil Madison, couldn't you? My mate's got a dog called Slaven. You could call it Kinder. I think Kinder's a good name for the dog after Vladimir. Cox. Cox, come here, Cox. Come on, Cox. That'll be quite a good one. One in the park. Just don't go to one of them late night dogging parks, or you might get more than what you bargain for. Loads of suggestions there. Why don't you go Vidoka? Vidoka, come here, Vidoka. And I hope he's a big big strong dog and it'd fit well with it. But if it's just a little dainty poodlehead, then maybe just call it Beck. There you go. Right, next question. Oh, Steve Rimmer, bomb disposal expert and comedian Steve Rimmer. Just got married. Well done, pal. Thanks for not inviting me, even though last year you said I could fucking host a day of Trib Fest and you didn't even get in touch with me. So I'm not sure I want to answer this question, you fucking bomb disposal bastard. But I will, because I'm nice. Ted, have you ever made that boglin give you a gummer? No comment. What do you think, Steve? What do you think? You know me and Walk the Boglin are very close, and it's got a lovely, lovely soft latex mouth, so I'm not going to answer that. I'm going to let you have a think about that. Chris Lofthouse, how much will you pay to appear in the Aviva ads? We've had this before, Chris. You know, that specimen of a man on there isn't me. I turned down the role because I was perfect for the part. They couldn't afford me, so what they did is they had to mock someone up to try and look like me. It's a bit like a look-alike, and they've done a bad job. You know, looks fuck all like me. I don't have a tash. You know, his teeth are false, mine are real. He takes a week off during the advert. You know, he doesn't have real hair like me. He's not a patch on Big Ted, Chris. He's not a patch. Wedgie, Colin Wedge. Ted, when you clean your glasses, do you get the local window cleaner in to help out? I'll admit, Colin, they are big specs, aren't they? But I've got big cheeks, so like if I didn't have big specs and I had just little specs, my cheeks look like a big daft fucking hamster. So the glasses help to prolong my beautiful model-like features. But no, I just use a beach towel to give me a clean. Alex Geddes or Geddes, I don't know what your name is. It's fucking weird. What do you reckon? Who do you reckon has been the hardest manager Boro have had in the last 30 years? And a few people have commented on to go on. Well, he's someone. Craig Holmes has put there. Not that skinny shithouse Woodgate, bit hard that. You know what I mean? I reckon Woodgate would batter you like. I'm having a look. Robbo and Strachan's been mentioned. Someone's mentioned Mowbray. You know, 3 tough bastards in the prime, but now they're just old men. I reckon I'd batter them all. You know what I mean? I think there's only one guy, and he hasn't managed the Borough, and he should have by now, and that's Nigel Pearson, in my opinion. I reckon he's the hardest, but he's the question is which manager. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Mowbray. I am. I think Mowbray would have knocked out some proper good bats in his day. But I'm saying Pearson had batter Mowbray. Just putting that out there. Liam Bell, make sure you pull it back, Ted. That's not even a question. You'd have twat. That's advice, and I don't even know what about. Pull what back? Me bell end? Well, because it's permanently pulled back because I've just got a weird one. Ian May, have you ever had a piss that smelled like sugar puffs, and will you be my new best mate? Yes, I've had many a piss that smells of sugar puffs. That's either down to the yeast infection I've had, or I've just banged a bowl of sugar puffs. I get a bit frisky sometimes with cereal. And will you be my new best mate? I'm having a look at your profile picture again, and you look like a nice lad, and I'm willing to give you the try. Yeah, I'm willing to give you the try. Maybe we can be best mates for a fee, and we'll talk about that later. David Smith, I told David when he finished fucking my interview with him there, so don't be sending a question in to TED Talks. Now, I've allowed you to have fucking 40 minutes on air, but he sent a very valid question here, so I'm going to answer it. Ted, have you ever used that menthol tea tree shower gel stuff on your bollocks and bumhole? Yes, I use nothing else, mate. Honestly, there's nothing better than getting in the shower and washing yourself what can only be described as mint-flavoured wasps stinging around your goalies and your sphincter. I think it's a lovely feeling. You not only feel clean and refreshed, but I also feel slightly penetrated, and I like that. I like that feeling. James Boyes, I don't know your name, another dickhead there. Which bubble bath do you use, Ted? Without consideration, always matey bubble bath. Always matey bubble bath, because once you've finished with the matey bubble bath, you can play with the bottle in the bath as well. And I've got about 3 of them, and I often act out Shakespearean scenarios with them. David Cook, Ted, why do farts smell much worse when in the bath and shower? Well, David, it's a science question, this, and I believe it is something to do with it being captured with the oxygen within bubbles, and it then rises and pops as if you're getting a bit of a fart smash in the face. So my advice is don't do it. Don't do it in the bath, honestly, because I've had a couple of cold browns in the bath after a rough chili or a kebab, and just think, I'm going to have a bath now, and then you get in and your bumhole's loose and you do a pump, and next thing you know, you need a shower. So have a think about that, mate. Ted, have you always looked thick as fuck? And that's come from Michael Angelo Ratano. Yeah, just as much as your surname is real, Michael. What you trying to give yourself sort of Hispanic Mediterranean names for? I'm having a look at you now, and you look like you're from Groveville. But yeah, I've always looked like I'm thick as fuck, but I tell you what, Michael, I'm not. I'm a member of Mensa. I've been on Tipping Point, I've been on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and I've won prizes on all of them, and nobody can penetrate the flange as fast as I can, and as effective as well, and that requires scientific calculations. So he's another made up name, I think. Here, Stefan Dussel, give us a wank with your back teeth. I think that's actually a bit wrong to be saying that type of stuff, Stefan, because it's a bit creepy, I think you're a bit of a sexual predator, mate, and I think you need to step back from these direct and insubordinate, rude questions. If I was a woman, I'd be reporting you to the police on that question there, Stefan. And, we all know you're called Stephen Doozle, not Stefan Dussel. I'm only kidding, mate. I'm only kidding. But it's a bit of a silly question, isn't it? And then they've gone on to advertise some nights. So, what's this? Yeah, they've advertised a night here. A big Xmas bash. Small trees at Rushpool Hall. Oh, Craig Holmes there. He's asking for security staff. I'm not interested, mate. I'm too hard. But looks like good night that. Yeah, I'll have some free tickets. Cheers, lads. Thanks. Right, Tom HUFC. Ted, when I'm fully erect, I can get 7.5 budgies to stand on my perch. How many can you get on yours? The lovely little reply from David Cookie. He said, Tom, that's a bold claim. However, I've heard Ted's girl doesn't like budgies, but she doesn't mind a cockatoo. That is right, yeah. But I don't use budgies. I use birds of prey. So I can get about 5 kestrels or 3 buzzards on mine. Or if you want to scale it all the way down, 11.5 pigeons. So there you go. Bryce Sad Wilson. Right, Ted, if super glue is super, why doesn't it stick to the inside of the tube? It's a good question, that, yeah. Probably something to do with, again, science. I'm not going to go into it. Norton Wilcox gone on again, say, what the fuck is half a budgie, a dwarf sparrow? Oh, there's a full conversation going on about budgies and birds balancing on bell ends here. I'll move on. I've got a question here from my good pal, Duncan Phillips, which has come through on Twitter. My question this week, do you prefer the flange on Strictly or the flange around the shower on Celebrity Jungle? Soon you'll be famous enough for both shows. Oh, cheers, Duncan, mate. Do you know what? I do like the dancing flange on Strictly, but I do like, when they're having that little shower in the cold water on the jungle as well. I always remember that Mylene Class one in the white bikini, and you could see everything. But I'm going to say the dancing one because there's some lovely, lovely ladies on that. And one day, maybe I'm a tremendous dancer. I might get signed up for the show one day. I can cha-cha, I can rumba, I can do it all, mate. Do it all. But as going in the jungle, there's absolutely no way I'm putting a widgety grub in my mouth or having a spider on my face. Absolutely no way. Unless they're going to give me £500,000, then I'll consider it. So good question, that Duncan. Cheers, man. And here's another one here. This could be the last one. Last question, Mark Courtney. I used to have a wanking sock until I got a verruca on my bell end. Oh my God, where did these come from, these people? I'll continue. I then realised it wasn't my sock and it was my housemate's. I told him he needs to get his verrucas looked at and he called me a sick fucker. Just trying to help. I mean, it's a bit old school, that, Mark. Having a sock. You know what I mean? Like, why? I've never understood the theory of beating one out into a gym sock when you can quite comfortably fold up some nice little bits of tissue and collect the juice that emanates from the crown of the penis safely, and then flush it away safely, and then it's just a quick wash of the hands and no laundry involved. Now, I've got a funny feeling that sock used to lie under your bed and capture many, many a blast of semen, and that to me is a disgusting thought, and I can imagine it could probably break car windows because it was that crusty and hard. So just get with the programme, mate. Get rid of the sock, fold up some tissue, bish bash bosh, flush, wash. There you go. That's all you need, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, no, actually, there's one more late comer there. Oh, it's me old pal Jim McMaster. Ted, who's the biggest bellend you've ever met and why? Well, apart from yourself, Jim, I'm only kidding, mate. You're in the top three, though. It would probably be Joel's brother-in-law, Mala. He's been on the show before. He's a fucking idiot. Honestly, he really is. We were down the club before, and I said to him, I'll buy you half a tenant, right? If you eat that daddy long legs. And there was a daddy long legs just crawling up the wall near the fruity, and he just went over, picked it up and gobbled it down. Not a second thought, honestly. Daft as a brush. Would do anything for half a pint. Should see what it'd do for a pint. Definitely a grade A crank and full-time bellend. Well, sadly, that's come to the end of episode 13 of TED Talks, the Ted Hanky Podcast. Thanks again, everyone, for downloading, supporting, sharing, giving it ratings on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Podbean, all the usual podcast formats and stuff like that. If you haven't, please search for it and give it a 5-star rating. It gets me up in the podcast ratings. It gets me noticed. It might get me some flange as well, which is very important. It's all I do it for, really. Flange and money. I'm getting neither at the minute, so you know what I mean. Help us out. Help us out, you fuckers. Big thank you to me special guest today, David Smith, and his gammy leg and his bongy eye. Always a pleasure talking with him. If he's ever in the region, guys, go and see his stand-up show. It's very, very funny. Hopefully we'll have him on the Showcase Comedy in the future, and we can let you know. Regarding gigs as well, my gig that I'm doing on Friday, October the 25th, is going to be at the Southern Cross Pub in Middlesbrough, Martin, I believe it is. And it's for the Laughing Pug Comedy Club, who put on some lovely nights. And what we're going to do is, I'm headlining it. I'm closing the night. So what we're going to do is, we're going to record a podcast. We're going to do a live podcast. It's not going to be live. I'm going to record it. If I did it live, it'd have loads of you daft bastards fucking ruining it, won't it? I'll have to edit it, you see. So, but we're going to record it, and then it's going to form part of me next podcast after that. So it'll be quite good. I might have some special guests. We'll do some features from some of the previous shows. I'll do some jokes and that, you know what I mean? But it's got other comedians on before me. It's going to have an MC on. It's going to be like a proper class night, you know what I mean? I can't wait. So as soon as tickets go on sale, I'll put them on my page, on my Facebook page, and you can buy them from there. They'll be at a very reasonable price, I'm sure, because, it's a very reasonable comedy club. So a big thank you to Shitehawk Comedy, who sponsors the show, and of course, Boro Fan TV. Check them out. They're going to be hopefully bringing back some after the match interviews and stuff like that. But follow them on Facebook, follow them on YouTube, all that malarkey. Thank you very much. Listen, up the Boro. Let's get another win by the time the next podcast comes through. And believe.